The heat is on. All right, guys. So it is a heat wave here in Toronto, and the talk about credit and asking for credit score and credit report from your partner is heating up. Woo! Listen, I did a poll on my LinkedIn, and I said, hey, when you're first dating somebody, kind of new in the relationship, and you're having some major conversations, what is the most uncomfortable topic to talk about with your partner? A, is it your feelings? B, asking for an STD check? C, asking for their credit report? D, your past relationships? And majority, like over 80%, said C, asking for the credit report. Wow. Now listen, between the comments from my last couple of videos and some of the DMs that I'm getting from people in my network about this is a hot topic and super important. Hi, welcome to Annie Unleashed. I'm Annie. I'm a financial planner, and I'm also a professor of financial planning and insurance. And I help people with success coaching. I do some neurotransformational coaching, and I'm a single parent. So, I've got a little bit of experience in terms of managing money in different scenarios, whether you're married, divorced, single parent, you name it, business owner, employee. I'm here for some real talk about money. If you're a new member, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe. Over 90% of the people that view my channel and my videos are not subscribed. And this way you get to be reminded and notified when I put out a new video on this. And if you're a returning member, I appreciate you so much and appreciate the support, and especially when you put some comments, because then I can respond directly and get some ideas about what you're really looking for. So let's get started. I want to talk about some unique ways that we can talk about money. We could introduce the topic, because some people, based on my conversations from the last video that I did on debt and dating and how you bring up the conversation, people have some different approaches. Now, there's some people who wouldn't ask for, let's say, at least 6 months, and then there's some people in my network who are like, third date, honey. Third date, we ask for STD check, credit check, and background check. And I was like, wow, this is a real thing. I love it. Now, you've got to kind of gauge how the relationship is going, right? If this is someone you want to be committed with and have a long-term thing with, you definitely want to talk about the money conversation. But how do you bring it up in a way that is supportive of a comfortable, safe, trusting conversation? So here's a couple things that I thought I'd share. Here are some unconventional ways to bring up the topic around money or gauge where your partner is at in terms of money and their relationship with money. So, number one, go and play a game with them. I'm not kidding. Whether it's a physical game that includes rewards. I just put out a video about how I went to play an indoor adrenaline-based activity, games room with my daughter, where you're in a room for 90 seconds and you got to maximize the points. There's a bracelet that tracks it, and at the end of it you can go outside, scan your wristband, and see how many points you earned and what those rewards get you. Okay? Now the key is to play together as a team, right? So go and play a game with your partner. Whether it's a board game where there's money involved, do they cheat? Do they play with integrity? Do they support you in the game, or are they out for themselves? Now, you got to kind of gauge this too, because I'm a super competitive person, but I'm big on fairness. So play a game with your partner. It's a great date idea. Go and have one of your dates as going to play a game, like a physical game that requires competition, that has some kind of reward system, financial reward system, coins, even if it's like Chuck E. Cheese and you're trying to get the max tickets, right? So that you can go and get a prize. Do that with your partner. See how they play. And when they get a bunch of tickets, see how they manage that decision. Do they get a gift for themselves? Do they split it with you? Do you guys share it together? Do you get a gift together, or do you get your own? All these things play into how you're gonna play with money when things get super serious. So go and play a game, whether it's a physical game or a board game. Number two, go and watch a TV show that you both enjoy that has something to do with money. For example, there's a show called Succession, There is Dynasty, right? Watch reality shows. Pick a show that has to deal with relationships, decisions that involve integrity, also possibly money, and then have a conversation of, oh my God, would you do that? I don't know, I wouldn't do that. Well, what would you do? You know? And have you ever had this come up in your life? That's a really easy, fun-filled way, no risk to you, and be all judgy about what you see on TV, right? But it can really encourage a fun conversation. Number 3 is go and show somebody my video and say, oh my God, can you believe what this girl is saying? What do you think? Have you ever done that with somebody that you dated in the past? Because apparently people have no problem talking about past relationships based on my poll. Have you ever had this come up in your past relationship where they asked you about your credit report or credit score, or you had money issues? How did that go? What did you learn from that? But base it off of, hey, this person, Annie from Annie Unleashed, has brought up this video and she's saying that in a relationship, here's some of the ways we can talk about it. But check out tip number 2 where she says, if we're going to ask about an STD check, might as well ask for a credit check. What do you think about that? Maybe even don't have a face-to-face conversation. Just share the video in a text message and say, hey, what do you think about tip number 2? And see what they say, right? It's kind of a safer way. You don't have to be right in front of their face and say the thing and then watch their reaction and see how they respond. Now, there'll be a couple tells, right? If they don't watch the video at all, maybe even after a reminder, then that might tell you that if they're busy, fine, but eventually if you send them something or if you have a request, they should eventually respond. If they don't respond to something as basic as a short video, maybe that tells you about other requests that you'll have in the future and how they might respond to you. So the communication is really key. Now the second thing is, if they do respond and say, oh, hey, here's what I thought, but it was a really vague answer, like, I guess it was all right. You need some more specifics around that. Like, what was all right about it? Was there anything that kind of rubbed you the wrong way? Because here's what it did for me. Or, here's something I've definitely found valuable. What do you think about that? And if they say, hey, let's talk about it on our next date, cool. Now you know that they're going to bring it up and you're both expecting to have this conversation. Either way, any reaction that they have is going to give you more information, right? Any response that they have is going to give you more information. Now, if they say something like, I think this was a really informative video and this was really helpful. I have also done this with my partners, and hey, if anybody asked me, I'd be cool with it. That's great. And you want to make sure that actions match words. There are 3 tips for bringing up the money conversation in unconventional ways that are fun, that are non-confrontational, that can support the conversation, because this is a really important part of your relationship. It is the number 1 reason why people break up and have tension and stress in the relationship. So might as well tackle it early and have it serve as a foundation of trust, of confidence in each other, in their relationship, and really have that serve as a foundation from which to build on. Things are going to change throughout your life, and money decisions will show up differently. But if you had comfort and ease, or at least had the courage to talk about this early on in the relationship, it will serve you for the rest of your relationship in a very positive way. So, hope that helped. And if you find that you need a third person to help in this conversation, I always recommend a financial planner or financial advisor. Feel free to reach out to me, or if you have someone around you, feel free to reach out to them to get educated on how money works and what do you need to know and what are ways that you can improve your own situation, and have that conversation with your partner, because your partner's going to want to know that you're responsible with money and with your decisions and have integrity in every little way, right? In all the little ways that counts. Anyway, thanks so much. Feel free to type in the comments what your thoughts are. Do you have an unconventional way that you brought up money with your partner? I'd love to hear about it. Let's share and have a conversation. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.